All right, today we're going to talk about one of the most recognized brands in the entire world, Mastercard. And we're going to ask a really simple question. What business are they actually in? Because I promise you, the answer is probably not what you think.
When you hear the name Mastercard, I bet one image pops into your head. It's the card, right? That little piece of plastic in your wallet that you tap or swipe to buy pretty much everything. We all see them as a payment network, just a simple rail for transactions.
But what if I told you that little piece of plastic is becoming the least important part of their business? That the real story, the thing that's actually going to define their future, is happening somewhere else entirely?
So to really get what's going on with Mastercard, we have to start by looking way beyond that card.
You know, a lot of the financial news you see gets completely bogged down in the trendy topics, all the noise of the industry. Just think about all the chatter around buy now, pay later, or whatever the hot fintech trend of the week is. It's interesting stuff for sure, but it kind of misses the main event.
Because what's happening here isn't just a new product or some flashy marketing campaign. No, this is a deep, fundamental pivot. It's a structural shift in what Mastercard is and what it actually sells to the world.
So, if the card isn't the future, what is? Let's pull back the curtain for a second and take a look at the company's real growth engine. You can pretty much split Mastercard's business into two big buckets. On one side, you've got core payments. That's the business we all know, right? The fees from swiping your card. But on the other side, there's this thing called value-added services. This is stuff like data analytics, cybersecurity, and identity verification.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. Look at the story these numbers tell. Core payments are still growing, sure, but the growth rate of these value-added services, it's absolutely exploding. It is consistently and frankly dramatically outpacing the old-school transaction business. This is not some side hustle. It's very quickly becoming the main driver of the whole company.
And this incredible growth, it isn't just random. It's all part of a very deliberate, very smart strategy. And to get it, we really need to understand Mastercard's new identity. This is the core idea right here. Mastercard is turning itself into what you could call an agnostic protocol of trust. Now, that word agnostic is the key. It means they are unbundling their most valuable services, things like security, fraud prevention, identity solutions, from their own payment network. They're basically selling trust to anyone, even if the payment itself is happening on a competitor's network or, say, a system run by a government.
So why are they doing this? Well, it's a brilliant defensive move. All around the world, governments are building their own payment systems, which is, a huge threat to private networks like Mastercard and Visa. But by selling trust on top of any network, Mastercard makes itself an essential partner instead of an old competitor.
This one phrase, it just captures the entire shift perfectly. They're not just in the business of moving money anymore. They're in the business of making sure that movement is safe, secure, and totally legit, no matter how or where it happens.
A great strategy is one thing, but you gotta have the numbers to back it up. And financially, this whole pivot has turned Mastercard into what I'd call a capital-light fortress.
First, just look at this number, over 50%. That's Mastercard's free cash flow margin. Think about it like this. For every single dollar that comes in the door, more than 50 cents is left over as pure cash after all the bills are paid. That is the sign of an unbelievably efficient profit machine.
And then there's this. Their return on invested capital, or ROIC, is over 40%. This number basically tells you how good they are at growing the business. For every new dollar they invest to expand, they get a return of more than 40 cents back every single year. It's just a capital-light compounding machine. So how do they defend this fortress? Well, their competitive moat is built on three really powerful things. First, you have network effects. The more banks and merchants that use their security services, the more valuable those services become for everyone. Second, the switching costs are incredibly high. Once a bank builds its entire system around Mastercard's technology, ripping it all out and replacing it is a total nightmare. And third, it's a capital-light model. They sell data and software, which means they can grow and grow without having to build giant, expensive factories.
So, what does all of this mean for the future of commerce? Well, this whole strategy is building towards a really bold new vision for the company. When you put all the pieces together, the picture gets really clear. Mastercard is evolving. It's moving past being just a simple way to pay for things and is turning itself into a foundational technology platform for global commerce itself.
And that leaves us with this one final, fascinating question. As our world gets more digital,
more complex, more connected, maybe the most valuable commodity isn't the money itself, but the trust that allows that money to move safely. So, is trust becoming the ultimate currency? Mastercard is betting its entire future that the answer is yes.